Unnamed Memory Volume 5 Review. In Volume 4 of Unnamed Memory, we enter into a new timeline with characters we knew and loved, but whose lives have been subtly changed after the events of Volume 3. However, as much as things maybe have changed, the bond between King Oscar and Tinashe is the one everlasting element and their love brings them together, no matter what their circumstances dictate. When we reunite with the cast in Volume 5, we find Tinashe rushing to break the curse on Oscar and preparing for her coronation as the leader of Toldar. Just as in the first timeline, Tinashe manages to break Oscar's curse, which is great news for all involved but means she no longer has a reason to stick around in the kingdom of Farsas. Oscar is sad to see her go, but as two leaders of totally different and powerful countries. He acknowledges that politically he can pursue her romantically. Then the coronation is held, and Tinashe shocks everyone when she announces that she's only going to take the throne for a short period, long enough to establish a working government to rule alongside the royal lineage. With this out of the way, it leaves her free to do whatever she wants, and Oscar wastes no time in asking for her hand in marriage, something she readily accepts. Beyond Oscar's proposal, this volume is largely spent moving along a subplot once more threatens to overturn the whole world as we know it. It's alluded to that certain characters are aware of the fact that time has changed and that it has caused cracks to appear in the world. Some things have changed too much as whatever one Oscar and Tinashe has pulled them back together against all odds. Some characters want to take advantage of this and begin to put an plan in motion to get their hands on the small orbs sealed away in Toldar and Farsas' treasure vaults. These are the same orbs that sent Oscar back in time at the end of Volume 3, thereby changing the future from Volume 4 onwards. The other major event is that we finally met the witch who cursed Oscar, something that never happened in the original timeline. This brings a particular element to a satisfying conclusion after we waited so long, which makes me happy since I expected not to have this particular encounter until the end of the series. On the whole, the rest of this book is more or less in line with the books that have come before. Some major storylines are running in the background while we check in here, and there will be Oscar and Tinashe as they deal with smaller events happening in and around their kingdoms as they get closer to their wedding. Some of these stories develop the two are fed into the overarching plot and some don't, which is fine. You know what to expect if you've been following the series for this long. In the afterword, the author Kuji Furumiya says that this book is a brief moment of tranquility. It is supposed considering we get to see Oscar and Tinashe happy, that makes sense. But from a story perspective, it's anything but tranquil as they begin to stack up before the conclusion. Some of the trouble our two main characters find themselves wrapped in throughout the book are also anything but peaceful, particularly when which one involves children being kidnapped and killed, and thus make me fear for what's in store for our duo in the final installment. But hopefully we get a happy ending event if our duo are pulled wrong the winger to get there. Unnamed Memory Volume 5 comes to the West thanks to Yen Press and continues to be translated by Sarah Tiny. The translation reads well with no issues to note. Volume 6 of this series is scheduled for the release on the 18th October and Yen Press has also just released the first volume of the manga adaptation. Overall, Volume 5 of Unnamed Memory sets up a powerful conclusion to the whole series. It continues to be interesting to see how things have changed compared to the initial timeline, which helps keeps readers engaged if you're here for the fantasy angle and not the relationship between Oscar and Tinashe. Either way, this is a series I still highly recommend. 9 out of 10.